Stephen Poss, POSS. I'm the park ranger. Well, I'm 65 years old, and this is my dream retirement job, being a park ranger. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be a park ranger much longer, but because I don't want to be a police officer. I just applied for the job and got it, and I'm a teacher. I was a teacher for the last 20 years and a lawyer before that. So, but I've been an environmentalist since I was 16, and very active in North Louisiana. I'm from Shreveport, and then when I went to law school in Baton Rouge, became active in organizations in the Baton Rouge area, and I'm just over here temporarily. So I've been over here about a year now. I've been to this park several times with my children 20 years ago, and always liked it over here. I really like Fontainebleau as well. I'm a bicyclist, so I've ridden the Trace a bunch of times before I even came here. Now I ride it every day. It's been really interesting to be over here, because when I came here before, I'd never been out to the river. I didn't even know there was a part of the campground out there. I didn't know about the Otis House. Now I give tours at the Otis House, and I get to walk out to the river all the time. There's an alligator out there that I commune with every now and then, and I just wave at him. And the limpkins are really cool. They're an invasive. They're a bird that followed the apple snails over here because they eat them. They came over from Florida, and now we've got a pretty large group of them that are in the area, so that's been really fascinating. They make the weirdest sounds. When you see what looks like bubble gum on a plant, that's apple snails' eggs. The only animal I've seen out here that's kind of different, it's not really that different, is the rabbits. The rabbits are pretty big, and they're very dark brown, kind of mottled coats, and I see them here. I see them on the Trace too, up in Abita Springs, and they're really pretty. And then of course the alligator, he's an 8 or 10 footer. He's black, almost black, and he's kind of cool. Haven't really seen much else. We had a customer here who said he saw a coyote that was freaking out. He had a cat in his tent, and it was freaking the cat out, and he finally figured out that it was a coyote. And that made perfect sense, because they are in the cities all over now, so it's not unusual. But I haven't seen anything else. A lot of birds. I mean, ospreys and bald eagles. Ospreys, I think, are just beautiful. I think they're actually cooler than bald eagles, because their wings are so much of their, personality. Is a big, long, huge wingspan. Seeing the river come up and down has been really fascinating, because it comes up based on the winds coming from the south, pushing Lake Pontchartrain into the river and all the way up to here. And right now we're kind of at low tide, and in another day or two it may be back up 2 or 3 feet. So it's been kind of neat seeing how that happens. And people fishing out here catch lots of different kinds of fish. I mean, it's apparently quite a fairly healthy ecosystem, which is amazing that it comes through Covington and Mandeville without being destroyed. It's a very quiet park, but it's a nice place. We got a boat launch, and so you can come out here with your boats. You have to have a campsite, but you don't have to have a campsite probably if you bring in just a kayak or a canoe, and a lot of people do that, so, which is nice.